not they off in mind. Aha.
Good evening to you. Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live. It is already New Year in some countries all over the world. 2022 started 6 hours ago in some country, 3 hours ago, some right now. So while we are still counting the hours, just about 4 hours in the UK, I bet it's going to be about 3 hours to that time in Nigeria. So join me tonight, spend a few time with me before you go for your crossover. You know, this is also part of it. Thank you.
Lórí Facebook, and yes, we like lórí YouTube, and yes, we like.
Thank you, thank you. It's December 31st. Get into it.
And yes, we like. And yes, we like.
Thank you. You see, 2021, that is coming to a close in the next couple of hours. Sorry if you are going to be watching this video, you know, as a replay or a rebroadcast or whatever. But for those who are watching live tonight, we are counting the hours and minutes. But a lot happened in 2021 that I want to probably reminisce on. And then at the same time, possibly chart a bit of a new course for 2022, especially for the freedom fighters, those who genuinely, right, support liberty, freedom of speech, association, and then even the liberty for self-determination. We should begin to chart some new course now. You get what I mean now? So share this broadcast, invite your friends, and then let's get started. First, tonight, I'm going to read two messages from two prominent individuals who put their own safety, comfort to risk. And they are paying so much for it as we speak. I'm talking about Oloye Sunday Igboho, as well as Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. For Sunday, Oloye Sunday Igboho, his own message, which I picked up from cut out a fraction of Punch report, and indeed is accredited to his lawyer, Barrister Pelumi Olajengbesi. So I'm going to talk a little about that too at some points. But let me read this out from what the Oloye Sunday Igboho's lawyer in Nigeria purportedly said. Was from Oloye for this period. He said, a message titled Sunday Igboho's New Year Message for 2022. Let it be abundantly clear that I am not at war with President Buhari, the governors, or anybody in government. He said that repeatedly. I can confirm he's not at war with anyone. There are those at war with him and the rest of us who reject the subjugation, the invasion, the takeover agenda or campaign of the Fulani hegemony, the Fulani supremacists, which they've told us not to say, or else we will be given the same Igboho treatment. But that will never deter us anyway. So let's continue. He said, what I want the government to do is to address the genesis of my agitation for Yoruba nation. The genesis is the insecurity in Ibarapa land and other places in the entire Yoruba land where farmers were being maimed, hacked to death, kidnapped, and raped as if there are no security agents in the country. Everybody deserves to be protected and feel safe in their country, regardless of their tribe, religion, or political leanings. At some point, our people became helpless and they can no longer go to their farmlands again. Scores of farmers were butchered to death in 2021, and the government pretends that all is okay. No, this must not continue, and this was why I rose to stop the menace. I didn't speak up to fight government. I spoke to ensure protection for our people. My message is that in 2022, the government should rise and put an end to the havoc caused by men that are criminals and give everyone a sense of belonging, whether foreign or locals, and stop the attack of our people in Yoruba land. I am not selfish about myself. I am more concerned about helpless citizens who buried their loved ones in aimless killings in 2021. And I pray the Almighty God will stop the killings of innocent people in Nigeria. A message purportedly from Oloye Sunday Igboho, directed at those who decided to take his life for speaking up for those that are being killed, maimed, and their news never make it to the mainstream media. That is the tragedy of what has happened to us in Yoruba land, including the tragedy of what has happened and what is happening in Igbo land today. But Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as well had a message for everyone this time around from his own lawyer, Barrister Ejiofor. I have sent a personal message to Barrister Ejiofor. I don't know if he would ever get to see my video, just like I always throw open my invitations, right? So I sent a message to him after this, after that statement from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and I'm waiting for his response. I would love to have him on my Egun's Diary Political. He's very active on social media. If his time allows, it will be one of those who would love to speak to this coming year. So he delivered a message, a very, very fire-blazing message from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Some of them that reflects in the latest developments in the struggle. So I want to share that with you as well. Before we proceed, let's see if I can share my screen with you straight from Barrister Ejiofor's social media page. So give me a sec. Yeah, there you go. So this is Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor's verified Facebook page, and he delivered this yesterday from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It might be too tiny for some of you, but I'm going to read word for word before we go further today as well. So give me a sec. Right. So from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, 2021. Update on our routine visit. This is a long one, so please, I'm going to read quite a bit slower so that everyone can pick everything I'm about to read, please. Update on our routine visit to our indefatigable client, Oyendu Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, at the headquarters of the Department of State's Security Service, Abuja, today, the 30th day of December 2021. That was yesterday. I undertook our routine visit to Oyendu today. I did so exclusively. In the course of my visit, both of us engaged in fruitful discussions that substantially bordered on the legal strategy we would deploy at the next court sitting on the 18th of January 2022. Oyendu was particularly enthused when he realized that we have set to task and brought to perfection all legal engineering implicit in the options available to us. I also briefed Onyendu on on a number of subsidiary but very important issues. We consistently laid emphasis on discipline and obedience to the hierarchy of command and maintained that his position on this is definite and unshifting. Further, he made the point for the consumption of millions of his supporters that the recent development in Imo State signifies a clear message to Umuchineke that Chukwu Okike Abiyama predominates in all human affairs and would continue to rule in the affairs of men. The recent stunning revelation in Imo State vindicates Onyendu entirely. He has long before now made the point that the chilling atrocities perpetrated in Imo State by agents of darkness had the handiwork of politicians who are their mastermind and paymasters. Onyendu has therefore exhorted Umuchineke and his followers in general to remain calm, law-abiding, focused, and peaceful in all their undertakings. He predicted that many more criminal gangs ravaging our land will soon than later gravitate to their deserving and ignoble end. He was also emphatic on the need for Umuchineke to be circumspect in their words and actions. He admonished Umuchineke and his other followers in general to be eternally vigilant in all they do and do show conscious restraint and forbearance at all times. He warned that enemies of the struggle are sundry and varied, and that they constantly evolve devious strategies to inflict anarchy and mayhem on the polity. When they actualize their evil plan in any instance, they knowingly instigate a false propaganda and lay blame for what they have done on the doorstep of members of IPOB. Onyendu has today caused the persons concerned and has declared that eternal perdition will be their reward. Onyendu is also genuinely concerned about the magnitude of violence that has been unleashed by criminal gangs in the land of our fathers. These gangs, no doubt, are the foot soldiers of those workers of iniquity, intent on giving the peaceful movement a bad name, Members of these gangs are sponsored and comforted by these elements. Onyendu is emphatic on the curse he has placed on them. He has supplicated unto Chukwuke Abiyama to guide and protect Umuchineke and to continually expose and punish those elements intent on besmirching them. Further, Onyendu has admonished his followers against being purveyors of falsehood and cheap talk. They should not knowingly assist his detractors by unwittingly propagating falsehood. He issued a stern warning against those he regarded as not keeping faith with the structure he has put in place. He observed that deliberate propagation of falsehood is aimed at misleading the unwary and uninformed, and most times is targeted at foisting mischief and disaffection in the system. It is a set objective of all those detractors whose pastime is to pull the peaceful movement down, but such detractors have always failed to achieve that objective and would never succeed, no matter how hard they try. He also observed that correct information dissemination is an important tool. He advised that any information about him should proceed from the appropriate channel and must be verified to confirm his authenticity. Persons seeking such information must desist from resorting to fake platforms created by his enemies to source for such information. Onyendu sent his best compliments and appreciation to all those of his followers who have remained underhunted and defiant in the face of all odds. He salutes all those who have remained resolute and undistracted to the cause and demonstrably obedient to the appropriate chain of command. The new year offer us renewed hope in Chukwuke Chukwuokike Abiyama. It will herald divine grace and favor of unimaginable proportions. Abiding grace and miraculous happenings will punctuate it. Sorrow and sighing shall take a sudden, unremitting flight. Chukwuokike Abiyama being and abiding with us, we shall reap and appreciate beneficially comprehensive victory on all sides. Thank you and remain blessed. Umu Chineke. And that is from Barrister Ejiofor, Ifeanyi Ejiofor. That's a long read, isn't it? Give me a sec. I think I should drink to that before we kick-started the entire show this, what do you call it, this evening. Are you there? Yeah, we're just about to start. Now, like the video, share it, and I'll be back in a minute.
Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's a three. Unabori Mary Nandi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's a three. Unabori Mary Nandi bu onyedu aimo. O Mary wonendizu mbiroya abakare. Mamanda Mora, Unaburi Mary Nandi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's a three. Unaburi Mary Nandi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's a three. Unaburi Mary Nandi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's a three. Unaburi Mary Nandi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's a three. Unaburi Mary Nandi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's a three. Unaburi Mary Nandi.
Thank you so much once again for joining me, or even for staying this far. So now let's get started fully. You have heard the messages from the two, these two powerful men, prominent men from Igbo land and then from Yoruba land. There's one more, which is our own man too, Omoyele Sowore. 2021 showed us that the rulers of Nigeria, they are completely opposed to any changes to the current imbalance system that they currently run. People are dying. We have seen how much care they give when it comes to the lives of the people they are ruling, as well as the lives of those who are killing the people they are ruling as well. So it's obvious that they are not interested in anything different. The status quo is going to continue. They use this year to hunt down those they considered as possible threats to their planned 2023, which is more important to them, not much about what is going on, even though some of them are still going to use what is going on as a campaign promise, a sort of a campaign material to talk to you, tell you they are going to make it different when they won't make any difference. So then I was asking myself, I was like, what would Mazi Nnamdi Kanu want from every one of us this coming year? If you are a Biafran, genuine one, because it's becoming obvious that there are those who never really want this to succeed. And this seems to be the time they can help you propagate falsehood against yourselves, against other things, misleading information that have no bearing, absolute no nothing to make a difference in what is going on today. I figured it out that what would Oloye Sunday Igboho want from us? Now that we can say, until now, they have done their part. And then you ask yourself, what would be my own part? What should my own physical part be in the course of this conversation going forward, 2022? I didn't really, my answer may not be your answer. I can tell you by the time I share what I think we should be doing, especially we, the Yorubas, because I'm going to pay attention to us more this evening. And I want you to please pay attention to me as well, okay? Because most of what I'm going to tell you are things that are just going to come to my mind, things I've always been like thinking and thinking and thinking. And I hope I will remember everything. And I hope they will make enough sense to you tonight so that we can all look forward to 2022 and be part of those that will make a physical, reasonable difference in this whole struggle. So that when they come for some of us too, there will be those that will be prepared to put up the fight in a different way than what we currently have now. Disorganized, currently in a circle. We give credit to those who have done so well to bring to the world attention all of these injustices going on in Nigeria, including myself. I always thank myself too for being part of those who always bring this to the limelight, having people to talk about them so that you can sample opinions and then you can say, well, if everybody agrees that this is wrong, then maybe everybody will agree that we should do something about it. Then you begin to ask, okay, what should we do? People begin to bring opinions too. Then with that, you can then pick from the basket of opinions, including mine. Mine is going to be comprehensive because I'm going to dramatize it. I'm going to make it look so practical to all of you. One of the things that gave way for the easy capture and the easy puncture of the campaign struggle for the rearrangement of what is currently the arrangement of Nigeria. No structure, but people are asking that it should be restructured. This is not working. It's never going to work. No miracle will make it work. And in the last 6 years, many of people have now learned that no matter what they try to project or whatever solution they try to project, using the same template that you currently have in Nigeria, it will never work, right? So people are asking, oh, now let's change this. We don't want to be part of this anymore. But one of the reasons why those who are the gatekeepers of Nigeria today, they cut across all tribes, they cut across all political parties, they cut across all strata of the society. We know that, right? But the reason why they were able to really maneuver us, and they will always be able to maneuver us, is that there is always something called structure. You see, the structure you have in Nigeria today is a rigged system where anything goes. A barbaric banana republic. That's a structure. So if you want to oppose it, you need something even more solid, so similar to it, maybe not so obvious. What do I mean by that? Oloye Sunday Igboho, who came out to speak out against the whole injustice, the whole thing that many people knows and prefer not to talk about because it hasn't happened to them yet. Yeah? When he came out like just like me and you, just ordinary person. That I expected many of us to see through what he is saying, what he saw, so that we could probably prevent anything that could put us in that same similar danger that many of our compatriots never lived to tell the story. He saw it, but he didn't have the resources. The resources there, is this: the right information and the right backing, the right people who genuinely want to make an everlasting change to something. He didn't have that. We didn't have that. Now, Igboho used his own resources to gather intel, to gather information about these criminal gangs operating in a Barakwa land, kidnapping people, raping women, including old women, right? Ransacking villages and farms, destroying farmlands and all that. And when people complain, their complaints never pass through the police station. Nothing is done. He used his own resources. He mobilized our people, and they went after these criminals. Then that became news. It caught the attention of many. Wow. So this is happening. Oh, wow. What is the government doing? Nothing. What are the politicians doing? Our Yoruba politicians, all the tradition, what are they doing? Nothing. They're keeping mute. They don't want to offend Buhari. Because if you should go out there and say the Fulanis are terrorizing you here, then Buhari is going to say, well, you hate the Fulanis, right? Then they will come for you. They don't want to offend Buhari. That then puts Igboho in that vulnerable position. Insecurity that prompted that. Assuming we have our real intel, that before Oloye Sunday Igboho goes into the mainstream, before he started making all those utterances, before he started making all those, appearances here and there, chasing all those Fulani terrorists from those forests, if we have had the resources like all the intel, everything that is needed, including what is expected of the reaction of the people in government, how do you manage to be 2-3 steps ahead of them? Something I have thought about, and I think if we really want to make a success of 2022 or any difference at all, now is the time we should begin to put something like that in. Because you know what? An intel would have possibly preferred another route to protect Oloye Sunday Igboho when he became the target of the government of Nigeria. A well-oiled, intel would not advise Oloye Sunday Igboho, anyone close to him, to purchase a ticket that would take him through, normally tickets that would take him through Benin Republic and the rest of them. Including, even if he has to be on the day of the attack, an intel, a real one, that is going to put a sort of a preventive measure in place that we would never, ever have to lose anybody to all these rogue criminals. Sorry if I'm speaking in parables to some of you. When I said a structure, I'm talking about something so reliable that even if Wahala burst, that the government want to use any legal or use whatever tool they may have, including legal, to suppress and oppress and seal our mouths or seal our lips off, right? This structure will always be so brutal enough to come out. And the government will be so kind of afraid of that structure rather than the individuals who are going to be protected by that, including Oloye Sunday Igboho, our Baba, Pa Akintoye. Pa Akintoye is making he made a statement just today, quoted, to have said that there will be no election in Yoruba land, in any state in Yoruba land in 2023. That is a powerful statement that should be backed with a reliable, dependable, structure with resources to make that statement true. Do you get what I mean now? There are things that should be done where they are more than just saying them. And in order not to confuse you too further, right? What I'm saying here is this. All of us outside Nigeria, the responsibility of making any demand of the Yorubas, especially this generation that will never, right, bow down and call a cow bros because we all want to eat a burger or beef burger. This generation that will indeed, talk the talk, should be ready to walk the walk. When any of our own association out there speaking out, trying to make an inroad into the heart of our people of why they should demand for something better. In fact, the fact that the politicians who are there today in Yoruba land cares nothing about all of this conversation is enough to tell you that when anyone make a statement and say there will be no election in Yoruba land until these issues are addressed and finalized, except for that, there will be no election in Yoruba land. There must be resources to make that happen. That resource is not going to come from those in Nigeria. It's going to come from all of us, not in Nigeria. And that is where I'm going. I once told you that we needed to start something called, call it anything, but most of the names or the ideas of the names that comes to my head have always been like G21, G15, G30. It doesn't matter. Just put G. Group of 20, group of 30. But I finally come up with one, G7. Ask me, what is that G7? The Yoruba Worldwide Conference, led by the generation that actually knows what they want and they want to go for it. Going for it with all they have. I mean, put everything into it. This time around, not just the words. G7. What would that even mean? G7 can be a group of 7 prominent Yoruba professionals scattered all over the world, but connected enough to bring all of the Yorubas in the entire universe. Imagine that work. You being part of that 7 prominent Yorubas, professionals. Yeah? That will be domiciled in all parts of the world. And your job is to bring all of the Yorubas you come across. It doesn't matter their political, what do you call it? Political lineage or whatever, their religion, their whatever. Are they Yorubas? Find them. 7, G7. You know, this G7, you can have one in the UK, maybe 2 in the UK, have 2 in America, have one in Canada, have one in China to cover the Asia Pacific, have one right there in the Arabian Peninsula. I don't know where that is, but I'm trying to refer to the Middle East. Or is that what they call them? Middle East. Our people live in Dubai. Our people live in most of all this part of the world. Yeah? Have these people there. Give them the authority to represent this G7, Yoruba G7. Somebody said Yoruba G7. Yoruba Generation 7. You know, we are now in we were in Generation X, Gen X. Now I think we are now in Gen Z. So maybe me and you, if you belong to that Gen X, Gen 7, well, it doesn't matter. But you get the idea. The idea is this: we need to create a formidable group whose job is to mobilize resources and then direct those resources into funding programs that will ensure that if the demand is for restructuring first, if the demand is constitutional change first, whatever the demand is going to be, this G7. So too many people in this thing is, you know, too many brutes in a soup spoil the soup. I don't know if that's how they say it. Their power from wherever they are is to ensure that the Yorubas in that region, in that part, have one goal. And that one goal is to create a formidable group that once it becomes an household name in Yoruba land, our job is very simple. I'm going to be part of that group if it eventually happens. The job of the group will be, one, ensure in 2022 a worldwide conference of all the Yorubas, sons and daughters all over the world interested in liberating the people of Yoruba land from the shackles and chains of one Nigeria. It is a big project, and trust me, it is doable. Imagine when, let's say in January 2022, there is a Y7 or GY7 or G7 or YG7 conference. Once you see that, you know those are the Yorubas. the Yoruba nation, the Yoruba people. These ones, they will be so powerful. We will be so powerful that even the politicians who see themselves as Lord Manors all over Yoruba land, we will challenge them with the resources we have. And when I say that, just imagine it. That Mayegun is saying something about having access, give Mayegun the access to resources that can challenge these billionaires. Well, how much resources do you think Mayegun and co can have and influence and then make a shift in the current political, what do you call it in Yoruba land today? We can do that if we do it together, not by oneself, okay? That's the kind of vision I have. Now, this is going to be a group that will comprise of these professionals, that will also attract more professionals, mostly some of them who are going to act for us on arbitration, legal representation, petition here and there. But the other part of it is to let people know that Yorubas can reunite, Yorubas can come together, Yorubas can make a demand in one unison. Even the untouchable Yoruba criminals that call themselves the Yoruba politicians, they will shiver. This is why G7, Yoruba G7 or G7, they have a conference in London. And that conference is the conference to discuss if Yorubas should participate in 2023 election or not. And somebody like me is one of the people who speak there. Princess, let's say Princess, come London, come talk to us, say, okay, Princess, come and tell us why Yorubas should participate in 2023 elections. So when you have conferences all over the world, when you explain to Yorubas face-to-face, individually, not just social media, when you interact and when you exchange your contacts with your fellow Yoruba brothers and sisters, when you begin to build this brotherhood, sisterhood, something that you can begin to say, this is what unites us. Oh, I know you. I know you, ma. Say, I'm looking at you too. So I know you. I met you at a G7 summit, G7 conference in London in January 22. Oh, yeah. Oh, are you that from Oshun? Yes, I'm from Oshun State, ma. Yeah. Oh, how are you? How are the people of Oshun? Have you been back to Oshun since after that conference? Yes, ma, I've been back to Oshun. We are doing something similar. Somewhere in Ede, somewhere here and there, where we want to organize similar conference. Why Yoruba should not be this? You see, when you begin to build that, when you begin to discover people who actually wanted to be discovered, you don't discover them through social media. You discover them by bringing them out of their different homes. You bring them out, you talk to them, they talk to you. You all look into the pros and cons of what we all seems, or all of us are looking at as perfecto. We need that. We need that from next year. Let that be our own. Because you see, imagine if to say we have, you know what I mean? Let's say, imagine you have this conference in America. And then there's this live video showing about 10,000 people in a big hall. And the conference is called the Yoruba Group of 7 G7 conference. And the title or topic of that conference is this. Some of you by then would have managed to begin to bring some of the royal fathers to UK, bring them to America, bring them to Canada, to come and grace such conversations. And they can go back home and start telling their own subjects in their different communities. And start telling them about the meeting they had with the Yorubas in America. Surprised that Yorubas in America, in their thousands, they want Yoruba nation, a Yoruba Oba, or a group of Yoruba Obas who attended such conference. They're not going to go back and start saying Yorubas love Nigeria. It's never going to work that way. When we begin to build that, yeah, and we begin to see, then you can say, Omo, you know what? I don't believe there's going to be election in Yoruba land in 2023. You will begin to believe. How are you going to do it? Don't worry. The people are going to say they are not going to be interested in it. How? They are going to give them rice. They're going to give them clothes. I said, just wait. Don't worry. Makpami. Just give it some time and see. Yoruba said they don't want election. See how it's going to work out. I want something like that next year. I want people to say they are persecuting me for believing in Yoruba nation. They are persecuting me. And then the G7 will say, you know what? There is a case of Mr. Adegbenro, who happens to be the biggest farmer in Ekiti. And is also the biggest supporter of the Yoruba nation campaign. Now, the government is targeting him. They are targeting his business. What should we do? That's why you have G7. Let the G7 spring into action. Who are those attacking Mr. Adegbenro because he loves Yoruba nation and he supports Yoruba nation? Let's go after them. That will be the work of that G7. A very powerful group. A very, very powerful group that will have the money, that will have the contacts, that will have the reach, and that can have the control over what seems to be impossible. We can do it, oh. We will do it. I don't want to say we can. We will do it because we have to do it. We have to put words into action. We have to walk the talk. Mayegun, what do you think we should do? Oloye Sunday Igboho is still in detention. How can we get him out? You ask me. How do we get Oloye Sunday Igboho out? We won't be able to break him out of the prison, but we have no other power. No power. They won't bring him to court until they choose that they want to bring him to court. But imagine there is this powerful group that people say the members of Yoruba G7, they are more than 5 million. They say, oh, na lie. They say, okay, na lie, Abi, don't worry. They are having their general conference sometimes in March 2022. And they are going to hold it somewhere here or there. Just pay attention, oh, you will see them. And true, you see Yoruba from all over the North America, South America, all these places. And they all converge from all over the world. They moved in, they converge somewhere that we'll choose. A big one. And you see different people, different Yorubas. Some of them are watching me right now, right? Many of you watching me right now in your houses, you know I'm speaking your mind. You know this is something you would want to see happen. And they say dreamers are leaders. If you can dream it, then you can make it happen. I have always been a dreamer. And trust me, maybe I'm actually a leader too. That will be decided when I am tested in that regard. But I am throwing it to all of you. Something is possible. It is possible if right-minded people choose to be part of it. I want to see something good, big enough that can challenge them. We have the capacity to put strength, to put power behind every word that any Yoruba group issued out there. You know why those things don't really matter to them? You know why they believe that we are just going to be all talk, no action? Because they know we don't have that resources. They know that we haven't devised means of pulling all our resources together and make a show of it. It is called show of force. And if you ask me, it seems that the history is about to repeat itself. The history is about to repeat itself. And there seems to be a clarion call on many of us that somehow it is time to begin to build that formidable front led by responsible people. I'm talking about people who are not selfish or self-centered. People who can manage power. Let me explain something to you. If you look at social media, social media gives us some level of power. Sometimes when I am, possibly discussing a very hot topic, trending, you're likely going to see 3,000, 4,000 people watching live. That is some power, but it doesn't have any real substance physically. Some people with that little power, they assume the unassumable. They imagine to the point that they become impractical in their thoughts. They become so larger than life. Things that power can do to people. I want to see people who will see power as service. Because you see what I'm talking about here? This is me advising the Yorubas to create a monster, a very powerful monster that will take down those who have been holding us down. You see, that same monster can consume us if greedy, selfish people should have access to that power. It is like creating an atomic bomb. Let me tell you something. You see, this G7 idea I just gave to all of you now, I'm talking about 7 prominent people who have enough connection to attract the Yorubas and convince Yorubas that this is a worthy cause to put their money on. Now, once you have such followership that this is going to attract, once you have such resources, money that this is going to attract, once you add the connection, the reach that this is going to attract to the individual character in this group, then we'll need to pray for those who understand what power is and why it must never be misused for from its purpose. That's the idea. I am creating a monster if we all agree, because I'm going to ask us to do it. Enough of all the talking. Enough of all the begging. You know what we do? Every time we talk about all this injustice, every time we talk about, why can't they just change the constitution? Oh, why can't the Yorubas control our resources? Why can't the Yorubas be on our own? This and that. You know what we're doing? We are asking people who are benefiting from one Nigeria to stop benefiting and break it up. We are asking them to do what will harm them, what will break their empire. We are asking them to do the impossible. So we will have to do the impossible ourselves. We would have to do it ourselves. So don't let me make it difficult for you. People who understand this challenge I have just thrown, they will take it. There will also be those who are going to just be kind of the nosy type. Mayegun, I watched your last broadcast. I want to be one of those 7. No, that's not how it works. Most of the time, this G of 7 are people that have their own proven track record in the course of the Yoruba development. We're going to have to develop a criteria for it. Although it is always going to be voluntary, but trust me, it can take us a while to have those 7, 11. Oh, my going to extend it, make it this, whatever you want to call it. I have given you this idea now, and I'm going to talk more about it in the new year. And I'm going to discover those people. Age will be of no real significance in this. In fact, I want to see a mixture of the old and the new, which is a mixture of the past, the present, and possibly to chart the future. I want to see a mixture of women playing a very key role in this kind of gathering. Dublin. Imagine you have somebody from Dublin, one from the UK or 2 from UK, 1 or 2 from the US. Like I said, just scatter them that way. And the target is to target Yorubas in all this part of, on this part of this world. Now, if you can then come to a point where you as a person, you have that leadership trait in you. You are not selfish, are you? Yeah. So you have that leadership trait in you. You are not one of those tifnumbus what do you call it, terrorist cells that he built all over the world. You are not one of them. There are ways we're going to figure this out anyway. But what I'm trying to look out for is that a leader, a woman, a man, who knows the responsibility of thousands of people looking up to you, millions of people coming to look up to you, the responsibility that comes with that, and the time to really dedicate. Time is also of essence too. You must have enough time on your hand, which means your job can be timed. You can say, well, for the next 5 years, I'm going to dedicate my time. If you're one of those, you can be warming up. You can be called upon. We need people, not just people. Don't pick me, because me, I don't get money. All right. If I happen to be one of those people who have real money in a way, yeah, I could possibly fit in, because it is going to be about those who are not going to see raising fund or generating fund for a cause like this as an opportunity for them to also make money. Do you get what I mean now? So all these kind of criteria are things that some of you have an idea what I'm talking about. So once we begin to have them, then we need people who can indeed organize. Yes, we talk about protests. Protest is like everybody coming out, this and that. You see all this kind of protest, sitting and the rest of that. They will become so easy if we begin to discover genuine people who actually knows what they want. Do you want Yoruba nation? Do you want Yoruba's development to be heralded and to be managed by the true Yoruba sons and daughters, not these selfish rogues that Nigeria has given power to make us? You know what I'm talking about? So if you have that, then you come out, you join us. I want to see that in 2022. I want to see a team that can tell politicians that indeed there will be no election. And yes, there will be no election, because half of the Yoruba land now feels like the election is probably a waste of time. There's something that should go into that. And let me tell you something, we may be able to have some upper hand on social media, yeah? We may be able to have that on social media, but we don't really have that powerful presence in the minds of our people. So we need a team of invincible people, invincible lot who are going to do the underground work, that are going to rally the Yorubas all over the world, bring them together, let them address themselves as Yorubas. In this process, we're going to end all the age-long historical rivalry that politicians sometimes dwell on among us to keep us in their, with what do you call it, under their sleeves. Do you get what I mean now? So I want powerful people. I want people who have this powerful organization in their hands, and we can attend conferences. That was what happened when Awolowo came to the UK for his education, right? You know what he did? He spoke to the Yorubas here in the UK. They reached out to all the Yorubas all over the world they could reach out to, after first having or arching the idea. I am arching this idea now. Oloye Sunday Igboho, what do you think he would want done if he's here with us? If he was asked the same thing, what do you think he would love to see? A very strong, one of his very reliable, source, especially his most reliable people during this whole struggle before they did what they did. Yeah, we are the ones, the people in the diaspora. He was so confident that he said it. He said the survival of the Yoruba people, the protection of the Yoruba land lies in the hands of all of us who are not in Yoruba land right now, because many of us are now extending our stay abroad. Some of us in our 60s, some of us in our 65, 70s, Yorubas, who wanted to go back home. Because of all these things going on right now, many people are now extending that, going back. Some are saying, well, if I die here, just take me to Nigeria and bury me, because I don't want to go there and get this and that. Do you get what I mean? So he told us, he said, if we don't take it serious, if we don't see this as a general problem, if we don't see this as a general threat, because politicians says it's not. Politicians who are having all this security around them, and they control the media to make sure that all this never makes it to the mainstream. Igboho said, one day you will come back home and you will realize that a lot has changed. You will no longer be able to actually even visit your ancestral home anymore. he called on us. He expected us to know what to do. And here I am, Mayegun General, the chief priest of the Temple of Truth, talking to you, my fellow brethren, this evening. We need something stronger. We need something reliable. We need something that strikes fears into their hearts, something that is more influential, something practical, something real, something much, much, much reliable. And I want us to think about this as I talk more on this. We've had so many groups all the time, but we've never had any group of Yorubas connected worldwide, demanding for just one single thing, with conferences, meetings, seminars, all these things. I want to see that in 2022. Then we can then start saying there will be no election, because there's a reason why we should say no election. I will tell you that. The system is already rigged. Even before your next election, you know it. It's already rigged. So it simply means the criminals in charge will continue to dominate the system, and they will continue to ask you to come and challenge them. You can't challenge a rigged system. You can't. It's a waste of time. Most of the time, a waste of life. So we need something to be on that ground. Babati is in the US. And Babati, if I'm right, by the way, Babati is in the US. Thanks for that, by the way. Babati is one of those who have this idea, this belief that until Yorubas in diaspora, until Yorubas living abroad, until they begin to meet and discuss these things, it's going to take us a longer time to be able to form a quorum, to be able to form a number that can make a demand and make a difference. I want to see that. Because if to say we have something like that, yeah, number one, me personally, yeah, a rich, reliable intel, number one, will not even let Igboho cross Nigeria to anywhere in this modern day and time. A reliable G7 with enough resources can put Igboho on a chartered private jet from from an independent airfield in Nigeria, and they will fly him straight to Germany. This is 2021. This is no longer 1960, 1970, 1980. We need, if you want to fight these criminals, yeah, you must develop a latest idea that will be 2 steps, 10 steps, or 10 feet ahead of them. Igboho wouldn't have done that. He had he has a German German visa. He has family there, and he possibly has the German residency. Why is it? What does he have? Why did he have to pass through Benin Republic? Such intel is what I'm talking about. Intel that work with lawyers, that work, intels that if they are fighting us, we should have something back. You know what I mean? Intels that can tell the Benin Republic president and say, listen, we don't know what compromise Nigeria has on you, but you don't have an idea of somebody you are holding. You are holding an individual that is fighting for 60 million people to stay alive, and you are convenient there in Benin Republic. If we have that resources, Talon may be fighting for his presidency by now. 6 months is enough to destabilize Benin Republic politically. If you have a genuine Yoruba working group working for the interest of Yoruba alone, Yoruba first, you can influence politicians in Benin Republic. 6 months. Talon, by now, is either he's already out of the government or he's fighting for his life, of his government. But it's comfortable, it's convenient. You know why? Everybody's going there to beg him. Let us go and beg the Benin Republic president. No, there's nothing we can do. Go and beg Buhari. No, we can't go and beg Buhari. We could have done a lot. Intel. If Numbu is maybe Yoruba governor, you can just put, let's say, 2 Yoruba governors, do some quick background check on them. After telling them that we want you to protect all the Yorubas, demanding for a better life in Nigeria. They want to have their own country. They want to have their own self-determination. You as a Yoruba governor, you should be part of that. You should not be against that. But how do you make them get to be part of that? Compromat is out there. If you pay the right people, they will give you the right information, undisputable information, compromat on these criminal Yoruba governors or Yoruba politicians, Yoruba Obas, and the rest of them. Publish them and tell them, these are criminals that will not let Yoruba move. But before you do, go to them and say, listen, this is what we have on you. Maybe you are governor and you are defending Nigeria, and then you are keeping mute against all what the Yorubas are demanding for. You are one of those who believe that Nigeria, nothing can break, blah, 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 blah. Fine. You are saying all of this because you are Governor Abi. We'll give you just about 3 months. 3 months to withdraw every of all those attacks. And at the same time, we want to see a physical support for that Yoruba Nation team. We don't care how you want to do it. But if you don't worry. G7. He will lose that position. We can make all these things happen. They call them power, influence, something that will make those who think they have power be so uncomfortable and scared of you. Call it whatever you want to call it. Sometimes we don't need to shoot guns. It's not always guns. These are criminals who are thieves. They want to keep their loot. They don't want anybody to know. They don't want all those loot to disappear. We can make those loot disappear. If we have the right team doing the right thing, you see all these things, all these things can make people who believe that they are untouchable become jealous, and they will give you what you want without touching them. So Obasanjo, a former president, what? So there's a lot we can do. All of this, apart from that, there's a lot we can also do with our people. You can get these ideas implanted in the minds of the children as well. There's a way to go about it. You need the resources. You need the people. The resources we really need is us, we, the people. You see that money, this or that, they are secondary. I want an invincible team of Yorubas. They will organize seminars, they will organize conferences all over the world. I will attend some of them if this ever comes to life. And then when I come there, I would be able to see all of you face to face. I can tell you face to face what I feel about Yoruba land. You can read my face. You can read my eyes right there and say, no, this guy is serious. I believe him. I'm going to do it. That is what we need to achieve in 2022. We're not going to use 2022 to complain. And seriously, we would need to do this. We will not use 2022 to complain why Nigeria hunts us down like criminals. Do you understand? All the politicians agree that we should be treated like criminals for asking that what is 40 should be disbanded. A new deal should be put in place. But with the confusion, with the ignorance in the land, the politicians feels like they have it all. We are just, we are just troublemakers. Now we need to show them what the real trouble is. The people need to know, not because they don't know. You need to make them see things. Then you see those ones who have managed to keep the status quo. We need to neutralize them. Neutralizing them doesn't come with how much they have. It is how much, it is how much you use what you have. Putting together what we have now has now become our own agenda. You can use this team to say, with Ilanomo Odua, which is still the umbrella body for the Yoruba nation. I'm not saying, I am not saying starting a new group abroad is to lead, is now to turn it to the group fighting for Yoruba nation. No. Ours is to bring the fight for Yoruba nation to life, to reality, to something real, something everybody can touch, something you can relate with beyond what you have right now. That is what we need to do from abroad because it's so necessary at this stage. It's going to get worse. Have you ever seen anywhere things in Nigeria ever gets better when it gets so boiling? No, it doesn't. People adapt. That's what happened. People get used to it. Our people shouldn't get used to poverty that the politicians have now managed to weaponize. We also need to use a different weapon to neutralize them, mostly not physical. So I suggest this to the house today, and I hope, even though we don't have a larger house tonight, I hope that for those of you who are going to see this video, for the few of you that are going to see it, and the rest who are going to see later, I want you to digest this tonight as you go to bed. Think about what I said. Yes, we have been talking. Yes, we have been mobilizing. Sometimes we are so disappointed with the turnout. But I want you to know that all our agitation, all our demand for better life, for better living, for responsible leadership, save school for our children, save hospital and an affordable health care for our people, save roads, secure all of that. You see, they are possible if we put action to our word. My own type of strategy that is good enough to be made public is the one I just shared with you. All of you have a lot of ideas, but do you know that this G7 idea I just gave to you now, right? This G7 idea can actually be the incubator of all other beautiful ideas that many of you have, because now you can channel that idea to a responsible organization that actually cares for the Yoruba people. You see why I keep saying outside Nigeria? I don't know if you just joined me. The reason why is that they have done so much damages to our people in Nigeria. We cannot rule out the impact of poverty, which has created greed, self-centeredness, and selfishness among our people in Yoruba land. It's mostly about what they want to eat and what they are going to eat next. So we will come back to them. But you see, some of us abroad too. Some of us left Nigeria. Nigeria didn't leave us. These are the people who are still saying that let us pray for Nigeria. No electricity, let us pray. Corrupt leadership, let us pray. Terrorism, let us pray. Bad road, let's just pray that God will touch our leaders. No schools, no good schools, no this. Our leaders are just too wicked. Let us pray. But he or she is living in America. He didn't have to pray for electricity. He didn't have to pray for phone network. He didn't have to pray to get a job. He didn't have to pray to have a good road. He didn't have to pay for his children to have good education. He didn't have to pray if he needs medical attention. He didn't have to pray for any of this. He didn't have to pray not to have irresponsible leadership in his country where he's living. But in Nigeria, he's telling people in Nigeria to pray. He lives in America, lives in the UK, or lives in Canada. He has the beautiful ideas of how and where Nigeria is going to be in the next few years if Nigerians pray and support their criminal leaders or whoever they choose. But he lives abroad. So we need those ones first. When we begin to neutralize those ones, when wife begin to educate husband, okay, let me tell you something more. Attend the seminar on Lenny. It's about the Yoruba land. I learned a lot I didn't know about Yoruba land today. Man, why are we still part of Nigeria? You, Akin, you have always been defending Nigeria. You see, you have misled me for this long. I don't even know if you misled me in this marriage. That stops tonight. Akin, we need to support Yoruba nation. I attended that conference. I heard a lot of things. Man, I never knew. I went on my phone. I started Googling things. And they were there all this while. I didn't know. And I've been defending Nigeria for no reason. Okay, tonight, that stops. Our children are Yorubas. They are Yoruba Omoluabi. They are not Nigerians. But they are, I don't want wahala. That's your one Nigeria stop tonight. So we want that. When we begin to have that, when people begin to talk here and there and say, did you attend their conference in London? Did you attend their meeting? Oh boy, I watched it online. Oh, I missed it. I'm so angry I didn't attend. I didn't know it was going to be that good. It's going to be a theater of sensitization, a theater of education, theater where you get to have the reasons. Why should I join them in asking for a better country? When you build that abroad, now them they send money home. They are the ones talking to family members when this Nigeria gets worse and worse. And it's going to be worse and worse still. So we need to talk to ourselves. We need to see ourselves. We need a bigger platform that is well funded, well supported. I'm calling on all of you, engineers. Some of you are millionaires in America, Yorubas. But when they talk about this Yoruba land, the only thing you are proud of is that Yorubas are this, Omalade Newa, this and that. Apart from that, you have no clue. Therefore, you have no idea. You are not interested. We need you. You see that your pride, Yoruba land, and all of that, is what has been desecrated so badly that every time you have to go back to that same Yoruba land, you feel nothing for your people but pity. Tell me if I'm lying. When you go back to Nigeria and you see your people, what do you feel for them? Majority of them, pity. Be like, man, you guys are trying. Oh, how are you surviving? Man, is that not what you feel for them? And those are your people. It's never going to change if you don't get involved. So 2022, I challenge you. We have seen that they don't care about lives. They don't care about anybody. We are just statistics in their book. But let's make every life matter. Let's make a Yoruba life matter. Same thing that to my Biafran brothers and sisters. You are already there. Please don't demolish the house you built. Don't let whatever differences or misunderstandings that has created so much, what do you call it, storm in the teacup, because I call it storm in the teacup. Whatever it is going on in IPOB right now, once Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is out, you know it now, that will disappear, But again, you have something that is there. It's not perfect. There's no perfect human being anywhere, right? But whatever it is, somebody said, okay, somebody was even asking me, said, ask Kanuta Kanu to give us what he is doing to get Mazi Nnamdi Kanu out of the detention. I don't know how much grown-ups really get emotionally misled that way, okay? Right? Mayegun, we want our leader to be released. I said, of course, everybody wants him to be released. Ask Kanuta Kanu what he is doing to get our leader out. I said, what do you want Kanuta Kanu to do? Break the prison. Go like Shinorambo and join DSS and take Nnamdi Kanu. There's a legal team there, right? There is a legal team. And that is the right thing to do, okay? But you are dealing with a monstrous criminal. Even, you see, let me say this. Normally, the legal team that is handling the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, handling the case of all those people accused of being IPOB members, some of them, you don't know them. You don't even know their names. But since they say they are arresting Biafrans, and since that suits your emotional apology or emotional bias, and they are arresting our people, you don't even know their names. You get what I mean now? But there are people who are always going there to bail them. There are people who are always going to the court, who are discovering them, getting them out. That is the work of the likes of Kanuta and the rest of them, for those who genuinely working to get Mazi out. Nobody's going to break in there. Nobody's going to drag Buhari by Agbada and give him slap. I say, yeah, Buhari, oh yeah, let's go. Release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It is all barbaric and stupid for any of you to actually feel like somebody has something to do to get Nnamdi Kanu out, but they are not doing it. And then you hate them for it. Some of you are older people. It's unfortunate. It's what we read on social media most of the time. You get what I mean now? Or this is it. Nobody is going to break into anywhere to get him out. You can't. If anybody tells you that I'm doing this, I'm going to go and talk to North Korea. I remember somebody said they are talking to North Korea. North Korea is going to come and break Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I'm like, is that not a joke on you? Does this actually look like a bit of a comedy to some of you? But if you do read some of this ignorant lot, they said a lot. And they hate people for not doing what they want them to do. You don't need to. Whatever it is that is going on with some of you and all of that, just know something, all right? You have something on there. It's not perfect. Don't ruin it. Don't break it. Don't destroy it when you don't have anything to replace it. And if you rely on social media ranting, if you rely It's even me. I am tired. There was a time I got tired of complaining and complaining. You know what I did? I mobilized people and I started a political party. I've told you the stories million times. Abi, it's my CV. If they say, Mayegun, give us your CV, this is my CV. I don't just talk. I also act. Most of the time I had to experiment. So I started a political party. I got people registered to run for offices. They got registered. They got put up there in INEC. Then we got bumped by our own party members. That is me putting action into my words. So today, I am urging my own friends and their brothers and sisters all over the world, asking them that we should put action. In this case, now this is a new challenge. If you want to be one of those that says there will be no election in Yoruba land in 2023, then you should join G7. Make G7 a reality, because G7 can make sure there is no election. Trust me on that. Yes, it can make it happen. So that's why I said, with what you have, don't ruin it. Don't destroy it. You may disagree with it, but tell yourselves the truth. There's no one that can get Mazi Nnamdi Kanu out of that place until Buhari's government and his gang see it as political expedient. When they say it is politically advantage for them, that they will do abracadabra. The court that is adjourning and adjourning and adjourning will suddenly sit down, yeah, and they will grant him bail. Is that not what they do? It is a lawless country. Stop fighting your brothers and sisters. It's a lawless country. Stay together, united. Speak out on the vices of what they are doing to our people in Igbo land. Spend more time on that. Spend less time blaming people who are just like you too. They are never going to carry gun and kill people for you. They're not going to start war that they know they can't win. And then you will be on social media. What are we going to do? We'll be counting the bodies. So what I'm saying here is this. Don't destroy what you have. If you really value the struggle, stay together. If you have nothing to talk about, there's a lot to talk about. Beam your searchlight on what is going on in Eastern Nigeria. Educate the people. You may think it's nothing, but it's a lot. But dividing yourselves, accusing yourselves, pointing fingers, trying to say this one and that one. Some of you, they see vision. And the funniest thing is that when you disagree with yourself or anyone, say that these people are betrayers. They betray our leader. And the other person says, who betrayed your leader? Shut up your mouth. You are just a Fulani bastard. You are just a DSS paid agent. You can't even think. It's like the same line. It seems like a dumb assholes that can't think. They can't have conversation. They point fingers, victimhood. They point fingers, even if it doesn't make any sense. So pay attention to the injustice they are meting on your people. Point and name names. Don't destroy what you have. Me, as a Yoruba man, I would say, since what do you call it? Since you have something fighting there for you. People who actually go to court. People who actually put in proceedings, asking the government to either release Nnamdi Kanu or bring him to court and then bring your charges. That is something. If you ask that, who are those who are trying to get Nnamdi Kanu out? Those are the people who are trying to get Nnamdi Kanu out. Make some of you morons stop screaming on social media and using your emotion to drag a supposed peaceful movement into the mud. You get what I mean now? So you can scream from morning to night on social media. It won't get Nnamdi Kanu out. You see, those who are actually putting the pressure on, they are those who go out there, who mobilize, who protest, who write the petition, those who go to that court, those who sue Nigeria. Do all those actions are called real pressure. It's not the one you are all accusing yourselves like idiots on social media. Don't like me for this, because I have actually wanted to say that to your faces. Okay? 2022 is coming, and I hope you will use your energy to talk more about the injustice they are meting on you. Unite your people through that. Don't divide them through the nonsense finger pointing so what do you call action on social media. It's for your own interest, because I believe one thing. When Nnamdi Kanu come out, all of this will disappear. And I just pray that before Nnamdi Kanu comes out, they will not turn out and say Nnamdi Kanu's wife is also a betrayer. They have already said that his brother is a betrayer. How do you even feel? Some of you, how do you feel making such outrageous accusation and you feel good within yourselves? It's ridiculous and shameful. You should be ashamed of yourselves. Say that back to me as well, because I've seen worse, and I've actually read worse you've said to yourselves out there. But the point is this: when Nnamdi Kanu finally comes out, all of this will disappear. But the damages you will do by then, God help you. I'll open my line, and I won't mind if you do have something to say. You can say it to my face. You can call in. The number is on your screen. I'm going to take a tea break. And when I get back, we'll continue. Bear with me.